Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be taking a look at 5 coins to 5x. If you find this video useful and informative, hit that like button, I really do appreciate it. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, this video is all about my 5 altcoins that I think are going to 5x within my portfolio. So let's get right into the first one. Okay guys, the first coin I want to talk about is Chainlink. Now Chainlink is a fantastic project in order to bring on real world data in and on chain. So ultimately when it comes to price feeds and DeFi, something like Chainlink is absolutely critical. And Chainlink is obviously one of those fantastic projects that has huge partnerships and a lot of integration across the crypto space. So overall, it's definitely one of the front winners when it comes to oracles in crypto. So obviously very vital to see something like this, where specifically when we talk about, smart contracts, DeFi, bringing in price feeds is just one of many examples that you need real world data on chain. So from a use case, it is obviously one of those ones that you want to be focusing in on. Now, there are a couple of other Oracle-based blockchains that we do like at the channel. Band is another. I'm also invested in API3 as something else that I think is going to be absolutely massive. But on this video, we're going to really just focus in on Chainlink because I do think it's something that we're going to see 5x. So when you actually jump down to the charts, you can take a look at the structure so far for Chainlink. And here we can see that we have a good progress. We reached $53 during our first leg to the upside. We started to see a nice correction. We found a nice bottom down here about $13. This current performance allows us to see the potential with Chainlink. We can just bring this down and we can see we can go up to about 182k, which would be a little, sorry, 182 pounds, $182. Here we can see it can go up to $182, which is a little over that 5x move. So right now that's about 523%, okay? So a pretty good position to be in and something we can see happen. Now we are currently underperforming against many of the other altcoins in the space, but Chainlink has a bit of history of sideways trading right before things really heat up to the upside. And again, you can see that we reached this area over here in May, yet we actually traded sideways around this key area from February through to April. So we know that there actually is a bit of a push to the upside that comes a bit later. So although we are sideways trading right now, again, finding the same resistance that we were finding previously, it's only a matter of time before we actually start to see this surge all the way to the upside in a really strong way. So for me, Chainlink is the first project that I do think we are likely to see a nice 5x with. Okay, that brings us into the second coin within our portfolio that probably will come as no surprise for those regular viewers, and that is going to be VeChain. Now, VeChain is a fantastic project from real-world use case. It's heavily integrated with some absolute massive players in the space, such as PwC, DNVGL. We also have H&M, BMW, Renault, and of course Walmart China, let alone also the governmental contracts that it has around the world. Obviously, we focus in on China. There's a lot going on there, but there are a few others as well. So Chainlink is definitely well positioned. It is also the only 5-star rated blockchain service provider in the world. So absolutely massive. So guys, something that I do think is very vitally important with all projects that we are invested in is it has to have a really good, strong use case. And as a result of that, I think Chainlink is definitely going to be up there. When we actually dive down into the technicals here for VeChain, we can actually see that it's got a quite easy 5x from its current position. Again, like Chainlink, we can take the high of wave 3 and the low of wave 4, take that current performance into consideration, and we can see that we look to aim for $1 during the next leg of the bull run. So that comes in about 766% from the current position at the point of recording this video, which puts us at a nice percentage gain, but also a nice easy 5x. So taking us from 11 cent up to about 5.55 cents, would be just short of our 2.618 area on the Fibonacci. So ultimately, we can even go a little bit further. So again, another easy 5x position, in my opinion, with a true project that has real use case in the real world. In a very similar way that you see Chainlink bringing real-world data on chain, here you can see VeChain being integrated heavily for supply chain management, and of course they're dabbling in lots of different things around hospitality, and of course everything potentially in the near horizon DeFi as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on with VeChain I think is well worth investigating and digging deeper into. And it's at this point I will obviously point out that I'm not a financial advisor, nor is Chris. And in fact, these are projects that we are invested in, and this is our thoughts and opinions on where things are going. We do stress that it's important that you do your own research. Never just listen to one or two influencers in the space, but actually dive into these projects, get into their Telegram groups, get into their white papers, read about them, and understand how these projects are changing the world for the better. Ultimately, VeChain is very well positioned to do a lot of real world use case and lots of adoption to follow. So right now, a nice 5EasyX is something that I can see happening. That then takes us on to the next project. The next one obviously is something else I talk quite a bit about on the channel. That's going to be SingularityNET. Now, SingularityNET is a project that's been around for quite some time. It was built on the Ethereum network. And the Ethereum network has been unable to give SingularityNET the scalability that it requires in order to really make its vision come true. SingularityNET aims to make decentralized AI a true vision, as in to make a marketplace that's completely accessible in a decentralized way and removes the ability to have this centralized AI from big tech companies like Facebook, Google, Microsoft, etc. Instead, you end up with a marketplace of AI that anyone can use in a decentralized way. This vision is something I do think is absolutely vital. Of course, SingularityNET go much further than just this. They also have developed 𝗕𝗘𝗀𝗘𝗥𝗦 and 𝗕𝗘𝗪 the robot, 𝗕𝗓𝗓 the little sister to 𝗕𝗘𝗪 as well. There's a lot going on with this project, and the artificial intelligence here from 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠𝗪𝗀𝗀 is second to none. So definitely worth doing a lot more research. We actually caught up with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠𝗪𝗀𝗀 recently on the channel, so do check that one out if it's of interest to you. And of course, SingularityNET is migrating over from the Ethereum ecosystem to the Cardano ecosystem. But to be more accurately, it's actually building on the Cardano ecosystem in parallel to the Ethereum chain. So as a result, they are very familiar with both the languages, the Solidity language and the issues that are there versus the Haskell language, the Marlowe protocols, etc. that are running on the Cardano ecosystem. And that interview that we did with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠𝗪𝗀𝗀 was a huge insight into the differences between Ethereum and Cardano. So I do recommend checking it out. Now, obviously, when we talk about price and a nice easy 5x, before AGIX was actually created, there was a token called AGI. This actually had a lot of history to it, and that old contract had some interesting kind of price expectations associated with it, which we did actually see SingularityNET kind of predicting around the $8 level. Now, the AGIX is a new contract, and the old contract doesn't exist anymore. Therefore, we're unable to actually chart it. But I do think that we are likely to see that $8 still come true. Right now, there are 1 billion AGIX tokens in circulating supply. This is currently positioned with only a $419 million market cap, which is absolutely tiny, and we could see this thing absolutely pop to the upside once it actually launches on the Cardano ecosystem. So as a result, I do think a nice 5EasyX could be achieved here when SingularityNET and AGIX. I think this project is something I think a lot of people want to get involved in, or at least understand what's going on here, because AI is an absolute beast in the future, I believe. So moving further forward, when we think about 2025 and 2030, this is going to be a key piece of blockchain tech that I think a lot of people are going to want to integrate with. And therefore, I think it's key that it's on a chain like Cardano, and of course, all those integrations that go with it. So a nice 5EasyX, I think, for me, and I think we're going to see some interesting moves from SingularityNET going forward. That then leads us on to the next project, which should obviously be a bit of a no-brainer as we are keeping in theme, and that's going to be Singularity DAO. Now, Singularity DAO is a project that I think every retail investor absolutely must know. This is a spin-off from SingularityNET and is all about decentralized finance, but also above and beyond that, it uses that artificial intelligence, machine learning to rebalance portfolios. So as a retail investor, we are often up against things like hedge funds, institutions, and those algorithmic bots that are out there trading against pairs all the time. As a result, it's really hard to stay competitive and obviously keep the competitive edge. And that is where Singularity DAO really comes in. Instead of investing in the cryptocurrencies directly, you invest in the DYNAset, and the DYNAset will rebalance the cryptos that it invests for you. And as a result, you have the power of AI behind your portfolio. This is something I think is absolutely critical for retail investors, and something I think that all retail investors should at least investigate and understand a little bit more about. Again, this is using the artificial intelligence that has been developed by 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗠𝗪𝗀𝗀, so do check out SingularityNET because a lot of this stuff is spinning from the same basket. Ultimately, I do think Singularity DAO has huge potential. I can see it potentially 10xing in this particular cycle, so a nice 5x is pretty easy to achieve here with SDAO, at least in my opinion. from here, 2025 is going to be absolutely smashing for Singularity DAO, in my opinion. I think this project is going to go from leg to strength to strength to strength, right? I think this is a project that many retail investors will end up owning and really getting into, because it's going to really narrow the gap between retail investors and those institutions. So do more research on it. It's a new project. You can get pretty good passive income by delegating and staking your SDAO as well. So do check out SingularityDAO.ai and you'll learn a lot more about it. Now, this obviously takes us to the last project. Now, again, this is a project that we have recently been talking quite heavily about on the channel, and something that we can see easily doing a 5x, and that is going to be Multivac. So MTV is a multi-dimensional sharding protocol, and this is a fantastic piece of tech that's only really kind of launched their mainnet. It's been around for a little while, but the mainnet only went live a few months ago, and as a result of that, we have seen staking as well being implemented. Now, at the point of recording this video, we're at 2.1 cent. And I could see this thing potentially going up towards that 30 cent area pretty comfortably. So that would be putting it well above that 10x position. I do think a 5xe is really easy to do with a market capitalization of only $78 million. Overall, there are 3.59 billion in circulating supply right now, of which 2 billion is staked. So actually the supply is actually really, really narrow. Therefore, all we need to see now is demand for the token to see the price of this one absolutely fly. So the squeeze on the supply has already happened. Once we start getting the token itself actually listed on different exchanges, and of course getting some publicity and some marketing behind it, this particular protocol I think is absolutely going to fly. So do check this one out. Dive into all their different colored papers and understand what is going on with Multivac, why the tech is fantastic, why the team is fantastic, and what is being built here is basically revolutionary in the space. If you're thinking about Ethereum 2.0, it's already here. It's called Multivac. Check it out. You'll be incredibly impressed by what you find. Right, those are my 5 coins, guys, that I do think are going to have a nice, easy 5x to them during the remaining end of the bull run. Guys, if you found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.